Brett Okamoto with UFC welterweight Stephen Thompson, who I did get a chance to see in South Carolina. I didn't get a chance to see him fight in South Carolina, and of course, and I'm sorry to bring that up again.
It's okay.
But of course, the million-dollar question everybody wants to know is, what is the update with you? When are we going to see you in the octagon again?
You know, I really wanted to be on that Greenville card, obviously. But my coaches were like, you know what, Steve, we got to give your brain time to heal up after that last fight with Anthony Pettis. But you know what, I'll be back better than ever. So we're looking at Madison Square Garden, November. Not sure who yet. I know me and RDA are coming off of a loss. So just throwing that out there.
Okay.
Maybe me and him, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Robbie Lawler and with this fight with Colby Covington. I've been trying to get that fight for the longest. So it's kind of up in the air, but that's what I'm shooting for.
Whose idea or who's mandating that you take some time off for your brain? Is that something that you come up with, your team? Like who's telling you, hey, we got to take a second for that?
It's definitely my coaches, my dad and my coaches. I know after the Anthony Pettis fight, the UFC called and was like, listen, literally the day after, was like, hey, we still want you to headline Greenville. I was like, I was so ready to say, yes, let's go. That was my mentality. I want to get back out there and do it again. But my coach is like, you know what, Stephen, back off. Let's make sure everything up here is healed up before we step back out there. You know, I've seen so many people, you know, get knocked out, and next thing you know, a few months later, they're back out there and barely get clipped, and down they go again. That's something I didn't want to do in front of my hometown, so I want to make sure everything's up here is fine before I step back out there. Yeah. So healing's great. Healing's great.
Smart. And I think, you know, unfortunately it did happen right before Greenville. And also it happened at a time when I think the welterweight division is just so exciting right now. I mean, can you just talk about what you see, the landscape in it, you know, how it's all shaking out? Is Colby Covington the #1 contender? Is George Masvidal passing him up? I mean, these are things that we speculate about all the time in the media. How do you see the division stacking up?
I think it's very exciting. And for a while there, it was very stagnant because we weren't sure who was going to be facing Tyron Woodley at the time. You know, was it Kumar Usman? Is it Colby Covington? So everything was kind of on hold, and you weren't seeing a whole lot of action out of this division. But now there's a new champion, and now you're seeing Masvidal finishing two of the top guys in the division, Darren Till and Ben Askren. I mean, the welterweight division is booming right now, and it's one of the most popular, I think, biggest divisions in the UFC. So I'm excited to see where it's going. Who's next for me? Colby Covington definitely has a shot to get that you know, fight for the title. If he's got to get past you know, Robbie Lawler. And Robbie Lawler is no joke, and he looked great after his last fight. You know, for a while there, Robbie Lawler looked he didn't look the same. You know, I didn't know if it was something up here that was going on, but when he stepped out there to face Ben Askren, I saw somebody different that fight, you know, and I think he's going to bring that same mentality in this fight against Colby Covington.
Well, be honest, when you were watching the title fight between Kamaru Usman and Tyron Woodley, was a big part of you thinking like, well, I don't mind. I don't feel so bad that Tyron Woodley's losing because it might be a good thing for me because you guys have obviously had those few run-ins in the octagon.
100%. You know, nobody wanted to see a Tyron Woodley, Stephen Thompson 3. You know, now that there is a new champion, you know, I have a better chance of making it back up and fighting for the title again. I know that's not going to be tomorrow. I know that's going to be maybe not next year. A few more fights under my belt with a good win, I'll be back up there with that title contention again.
From what you've seen, who would be a tougher matchup for you? Tyron Woodley, who you know very well, obviously, and then from what you've seen of Usman, who's a bigger challenge?
Man, I think Kumar Usman, man. I mean, he's a young fighter, and he's very, very hungry. And after that last fight I saw with Tyron Woodley, Tyron definitely didn't look the same, you know, mentally, and I kind of see that when he stepped out in the octagon. Kumar Usman was just focused. You can tell he was excited. Tyron Woodley I didn't get that vibe from him. But Kamaru Usman, man, he's a strong wrestler. He's got cardio for days. And I know every time that I step out there in the octagon, my opponent's looking to take me down. So it would be a very tough matchup because he's such a strong wrestler. He's got some striking too. I mean, he's got some finishes under him as well. So yeah, man, I think Kamaru Usman.
You know who else looks hungry in this division? Looks like he's trying to make a name for himself. Is Stephen Thompson on the dodgeball court.
Oh, did you see that?
What was that all about?
All right, for one, you know, if you talk trash on the dodgeball court, you're going to get smoked, okay? So I got kids at Upstate Karate in my gym who have literally been playing dodgeball since the age of like 4. You know, they're 10, 11, 12. They got cannons. So, you know, I gotta bring my A game whenever I step out there on the dodgeball court in the gym because these kids are ruthless. So I gotta be. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because I posted that up. Next thing you know, it went viral. I'm like, what is going on? It was the funniest thing. All my kids that were actually there that day was like, man, I'm on YouTube. You hit me with the dodgeball. They were freaking out, man. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, you take it easy on the dodgeball. You'll pay for it, right? You take one in the face.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know what? We're in our gym. Face shots count. Okay, face shots count. We don't wimp out with the face shots. So, yeah, man, it's fun. It's a fun game. And we got karate camps going all summer long. So we have a blast, man.
Well, enjoy. Best of luck with the recovery, and any more dodgeball videos you want to put up. I think the world would be happy to see them, Stephen.
You got it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
Anytime.
the time.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming and special content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.